Bonjour, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How is everybody doing? Is the music blowing your ears off? Am I exceptionally loud? Is the volume ratio between the two alright? Or should I put the music down a little bit? Assuming you can actually hear the music, obviously. We've got some nice dancey stuff on today. Bull market vibes and all of that. Masa El Kia. I don't know what that means, my friend. Unfortunately, I'm like most English people that are just ignorant to other languages. And unlike pretty much everyone else around the world, we only speak our language because we're just ignorant. Hello Ted, hello Thomas, hello Delta, hello Arnold, hello Ahmed Ali, hello Charles Dellinger. And familiar names on this wonderful Wednesday night? Evening? Don't know. I've got my big bull market sign on. I'm actually sat in my office with my huge green neon light on, just for that extra bull market vibes. Not that it is an insane bull market, but we'll speak about that. Let's first do a quick shout out to our sponsor of the stream, Bluefin, which I've got up in front of me. It's a wonderful new shiny DEX where you can trade perps up to 20x leverage. There's a link in the description below if you're on Twitch or YouTube where you can sign up, and as you do volume on there, you can get a proportion of the blue tokens that they are releasing in each epoch, and I personally think that they're going to be worth reasonable sums of money, and at this point in time it's worth being a part of that volume to get a higher percentage of those epoch releases. And of course, it's keeping your funds in your own wallet and simply having custody of your assets post FTX. I think we can all agree that that's quite a sensible place to be. So I've had lots of questions about Link, and you're going to have to excuse me a little bit this stream. I feel like I've got the start of a cold coming on, because I've got a load of herbal teas sat next to me, and I appear to be losing my voice the more I use it. Link analysis. Well, we can get onto Link, but where's everybody mentally? Are you all sat in the bull market vibes? Are you, this is up only, it's going to go up forever? We're so back, we're hitting new all-time highs, and all of this kind of wonderful stuff? Or are you in general positions of, well, this is an uptrend, or this is coming close to being over? Bull market vibes, up only. Here we go. Hello, hush hush hush. Hello, Crispy Krem. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've had a pretty monstrous rally. And I mean, some altcoins have gone absolutely AWOL today. Absolute mad moves on some coins like Sushi. Solana's been pretty great over the last couple of days. Pump It Music. Yeah, this is Pump It Up. Solve the win. Yeah, I mean, if you got that, lovely stuff. Disbelief. Oh, disbelief before a worldwide crypto rally. Shake the last of the bears. Meh, still don't believe this Q1 rally, but could be very quickly. You mean could be wrong very quickly, or could be right very quickly? Could be over very quickly. Also, not sure what you mean by Q1, but this is Q3. Oh, whoa, just had a load of messages on YouTube. What is that about? Environment shift, good. Everyone seems too bullish, not sure. Waiting for the reversal. Evening, Charlie. Bonjour. Hello, Mark Tose. Hello, Isco. Hello, Seb. Undecided. Bull market timing is wrong yet, so expect pullback soon. Maybe Bitcoin 40k. Slowly then all at once. Oh, could be like the rally you had in Q1 very quickly. Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm with you. So you're thinking that, you know, this is kind of similar to this parabolic move up, a little bit of consolidation, pullback, maybe another move up, and then, you know, a little bit of a deeper pullback, etc. So basically this kind of fractal again. I don't disagree with that necessarily. You know, you've got exactly the same kind of parabolic move up there, bit of consolidation, maybe one more leg up before a kind of steeper pullback. But you know, I try not to play in terms of price fractals and just say, well, this happened then, so it's going to happen again. Personally, you know, the context of the market for me is this, right? Like, Bitcoin is sat in a range, and this is one of the best times to play altcoin rotations, because if price is pinned in a range and you've got pretty clear rejections, you know, around, you know, clear levels, I think that's pretty clean in terms of BTC. You know, alt rotations are just clean, and you can have these alerts, which you can see I've got still. Actually, I'll redo this one. On BTC. Save it. Come back again. There we go. You know, just where am I interested in playing it? So, you know, any normal range, you know, where do I want to play that range? I want to play it at the extremes. I can't be bothered diddling in the middle and effectively trying to take a 50-50 chance. Like, the edges of ranges give you clear invalidation. They usually give you nice reactions. And, you know, if you wanted to scalp this range, then fair play to you. But for me personally, as you all know, if you've been to any of my streams before or looked at any of my Twitter feed, despite the fact that I'm called BTC Charlie, I mostly trade altcoins. So yeah, this kind of low time frame, like risk profile on alts as well, and by risk profile I actually mean kind of the beta, the return, the percentage. Like, you've got only a couple which are worse than BTC, and ironically that's the one I tried to long yesterday or day before. I don't know, everything seems to be going so quickly at the moment in terms of time. Good evening, Kaz. But for me, like with BTC, it's more just about, like, if you've missed this move, just look at altcoins and just look at what positions you want to be in next, because the market just keeps moving. And, you know, I keep saying, like, my position on altcoins generally is long until you're wrong, and that hasn't really failed the last few weeks. And that is because of a market sentiment shift. It's because basically since October and the whole, you know, fake ETF pump, you know, we've been pretty risk on, but we will have pullbacks inevitably at certain points. You know, I shared on Twitter the other day, I think I tagged Exo in it, the TRB short. So shorted TRB up here, so classic move. We talk about this a lot on stream, which is that kind of parabola, a parabolic move into a lower high. I can't remember whether it was, yeah, it was on the hourly, I think. Kind of parabolic move into a lower high, and actually the short was up here and rode it down to this. This was actually me sending it to him and saying this is what happened. I didn't ride it to the upside this time, unfortunately. Like, this is, you know, that's the classic move, and everyone's like, why would you short TRB? Well, two things. One, that kind of setup has paid out massively over the course of my trading career. And secondly, why would I try and do it again? Basically, I tried to short in this move here this week, and yeah, I got taken out. But my stop was pretty tight in terms of, it was this former high up here. You know, momentum has kind of died off after this push. Maybe I was a little bit impatient. Maybe I should have done the same trade twice and waited for some form of divergence up here. And I did kind of fire off early, but you know, it's been a pretty brutal market in terms of if you've been trying to short, you know, capture a few percent on the way down, but then in literally what, 4 or 5 candles just get absolutely punished. So being in a long only mindset for a while, with good and strict risk management, has paid dividends. Good evening, Charlie. First day in Paragon. John Soon. Hello, my friend. I hope you are enjoying it. There's a lot to get your teeth into, and if you've got any questions, just ask me or Magus. There is a lot of educational content in there. So, yeah, if you get lost, just shout. Because it's hard to kind of tailor it for someone who's just gone, oh, this is a chart, great. What does this candle mean? Versus someone who's been basically trying order flow for, you know, 6 months and goes, yeah, I understand it all, but I need to systemize it a little bit. So TRB and not making a lower low wasn't a concern. Where do you mean, my friend? Because that was the initial one. You know, I positioned in there, and it was quite early, to be honest with you, because of this. It just blasted through. Hello, I love my wife and beautiful kids. Hope you're well, my friend. So yeah, for me, BTC, if you want to position, you've got really clean invalidation in terms of ranges. I would prefer setup 1, which is something like this, or a breakout play, which I'm quite happy to take. I didn't take this one yesterday, partly because I didn't feel like it, and secondly because there were better opportunities to play, and thirdly, this alert down here, which is quite ambitious. So if you zoom out from a high time frame perspective on BTC, I'm pretty sure everyone is going to have this high time frame pivot level drawn, right? And if we get some form of baby pips retest, I don't expect it to be perfect, I expect it to be mildly front run, and if we get that, that's kind of where I want to buy and bid, right? So it's just alerts, just let the trade come to me, just point out the areas of which I'm interested in taking said trade, and when it pops up, have a look at the chart, see what I want to do. Really nothing more complicated than that. You know, if we get a ridiculously inefficient move up, and then it starts instantly dying, then I'm not going to want to get on board with that. If we start creeping up, and actually, you know, we basically have a bullish low time frame market structure, then I've got some real nice invalidation, and I can just start piling in, and I've got a, you know, pretty tight invalidation on a breakout play to the upside. That's it. That's all I want to be doing, is just I will long it until I'm wrong type thing. And down here, you know, similar kind of range break, reclaim, easy setup there. And down here is going to be a broader, which is why this box is so wide, to be honest with you, a broader range of, you know, prices that I'm willing to participate at. And what I'll be looking for in that scenario is, you know, I really want to see quite a strong sell-off, and ideally a change in market structure or some form of divergences across the lows. So real simple thought processes. And if we get those, then I can jump on board. And a lot of people are probably sat here going, oh, you know, you've missed the move, you've missed the Bitcoin move, and going, oh no, we've done it, we've missed generational wealth, you know. And there'll be the odd person flexing on Twitter and all of that kind of stuff that they've held along from wherever, and they've done this and they've done that, and that's all well and good. And if that's what you want to do, and that's, you know, your trading style, then great. You know, maybe you have missed the move, and maybe you have misplayed your own system. But if your system wasn't set up like that in the first place to catch those kind of moves, then there's kind of no point in beating yourself up about it, right? Like, this is the thing that I think a lot of people suffer with on social media, is, you know, they'll see somebody that longed $1 million of SOL at the Pico lows and be like, that should have been me. And there's probably several things wrong with that. For a start, you probably don't have $1 million. Maybe you do, but would you risk it on essentially a liquidation wick? Probably not. You know, secondly, how are you set up to do that? Thirdly, if it went against you, would you be absolutely ruined and devastated? I think it's all that kind of relative thought process, that $100 to me isn't going to be the same as $100 to you. $100 to me might be a hell of a lot more, might be a hell of a lot less. I don't know. I don't know how rich or poor any of you are. Do you know what I mean? So it's always easy to laugh about this kind of stuff in hindsight as well. You know, huge strong moves on Solana. Meh. Well done if you caught it. Been some nice rotations. Could have seen Sol and Spaghetti today. Very, very strong outlier. And Sushi obviously being the one that did surprise me, to be honest with you. Mostly because Sushi is kind of a real shite, outdated governance token. But it just kind of proves that some of the fundamentals behind some of these charts, you know, don't necessarily correlate with positive price action. So you can believe that things are scams, you can believe things that are, you know, the best product since sliced bread, you can believe whatever the hell you want to believe, but the reality is that the market will tell you what the you know, global collection of buyers and sellers agree is current fair value. So whilst I might think sushi is a piece of shit garbage coin that deserves to be 0, the market has told me I'm wrong. Spray and pray with altcoins, got it. No, I don't think so at all. So like at this moment in time, right, in terms of positioning, there's basically, in my view, there's 3 approaches. One is you look for rotations as and when they occur. So you're down on like the 15-second spaghetti chart, you're seeing what's strong. I was looking at AVAX before the stream actually. That's mildly frustrating. But AVAX, right? Nice rotation from AVAX, very clear. You can tell after this sell-off, you know, it's basically started moving. And would I be in it from here? No, I'd probably be in it from up here somewhere. So, you know, just a couple of percent, not too much. But let's go to the AVAX chart. So you're basically playing rotations, and you are playing them as and when they occur. So you are being reactive to the market, right? You are saying, well, I've got no high time frame bias particularly, I'm just going to wait for the market to sell off a little bit and then see what recovers, jump on board, and hope that that's a good rotation. And then as soon as that starts moving down, break a market structure, something like that, whatever, you know, your system tells you to do, get out. Second is mark out some high time frame levels on charts like AVAX, or just go through basically everything on Binance and just set some alerts and go, where am I interested in participating? So Ape was one that I've talked about a little bit, partly because I think that there's probably a fade coming up in a couple of days in terms of the whole Ape Fest thing. I think there'll be quite an inefficient move up, and I think there'll be something to fade. But just literally drawing levels. Where am I interested in being a buyer? Okay, well, I'm interested in being a buyer if we retest this. Okay, we'll set an alert. Sit there and be patient. Plan out your next trade. Pepe, you know, Pepe is high risk on, right? Pepe is usually indicative of that risk curve moving. I was looking at this the other day just from a kind of range play perspective. You can kind of see the range back here. So that was basically what I was looking at, something like this. Right. This. You know, I was looking for a breakout essentially. You got real nice invalidation just in terms of that market structure, that move up, which eventually just sold off and, you know, died. Now it obviously looks a little bit different, but in terms of the next leg, you know, where do you want to get involved in it? What's your kind of thought process and invalidation? You know, do you want to get involved here? Personally, probably not. Would I want to get involved on a flip at this level? Yeah, maybe. I'm planning those kind of things. You know, RVM was a ridiculous trade, and that was just based off literally this, you know, this breakout down here of some, like, let's have a look, of some high time frame support levels, and the whole premise of if Link is running, which is a real world asset type Ponzi coin, any of you who were in you know, 2018, 2019 will remember Raven and the core thing that everyone did on Twitter. You know, this was literally bullish market structure, flipping a level, but I was pre-positioning kind of in here and building it, and then it literally just fucking took off. And again, what are these levels? Well, these are just TP levels. TP levels based on what? These, just pre-drawn, like, supports. That's it. That support this level. That support up here from this resistance there. Like, that's all I'm doing. Yeah. You can spend your time marking out levels of where you're interested in interacting with altcoins. For me, like Link is one that, you know, I think is not necessarily had its day. Like, everyone's, you know, super bullish on it because it broke out of this huge consolidation and range. Absolutely fine, absolutely fair enough. You know, it is pretty monstrous in terms of this range. If I just delete absolutely everything, because most of it probably isn't that useful anymore, let's just take this range high here. You know, we've got this situation where we have had a divergence in momentum across these highs, and it is starting to play out on a 4-hour basis. You can see it again on, you know, on a 12-hour basis. On AO, it's, you know, momentum's dying as well, and you start thinking, well, okay, even on a daily level, you know, momentum is dying across these highs. So what do you kind of expect to happen? Well, there's two things. One is, if this is actually going to play out and sell off properly, you'd kind of expect it to have happened a little bit by now. Secondly, if it does happen, you know, and it does start selling off, where do you think it's going to go to? Now, there's two kind of thought processes for me here. One is meme level, $10, right? Psychological point of interest, potentially. Equally, selling underneath it. Second is this former high across here. You know, this 945 level. So where are you interested in buying it? Don't know. But you can set some alerts and you can play around for that. And you can say, right, well, I'm just going to set an alert here. I'm going to go like this. Done. You know, that's it. I've got enable two-factor authentication for webhooks. Fine. Thought I did that, but whatever. And now you can just move on to the next chart, the next thought process, the next, you know, potential opportunity, and just, I guess, switch to being reactive in terms of high time frame trading opportunities instead of trying to position into absolutely everything. And then when it comes, it's also much easier to take a position, because what a lot of people do is, as altcoins are going up, or any coin's going up, everyone wants to participate. Oh, I missed the move. Oh my god! Right, it's definitely a bull market confirmed now. Like, look at Solana, right? Now, I obviously don't know what's going to happen with this, but some fucking idiot bought that. Right, huge parabolic move. Huge, just absolute blasting up. You know, somebody is buying the top of these parabolic moves thinking it's just going to keep going up. Now, I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. But what I do want to do is go, okay, well that was a lovely trade. Did I get it? No. Did I catch every penny of it? Absolutely not. But what can I do? Where do I want to participate next time? Like, because there's going to be another trade. There's going to be another rotation. Is it Sol? Don't know. Is it something else? Don't know. Probably. Let's mark up some levels. Okay, so we marked up some levels. Do they make sense? Yeah, I think so, because, you know, kind of aligns with this. You know, pretty much tag that level. In terms of this level here, support, you know, blast through. That's a bit janky. Resistance, kind of a bit janky, but that's support. Resistance. You know, you've got quite a few tags of said level, and you know, that's not necessarily the cleanest, but it gives me some form of indication of, if this trend pulls back, where am I starting to be interested in a position? Now it pulls back, what am I going to do? I don't necessarily just want to jump on a simple flip at that level, because I've said it wasn't particularly clean, but if I can add that to rotational strength on Spaghetti, so I can go, right, sold off, but now I can see it's coming back, or even some form of like meme diagonal setup where we're actually just breaking it, or a change in market structure, you start saying, well, it's broken a downtrend, it's got relative strength on Spaghetti, it's changed its market structure on a lower time frame, and I've now got an invalidation, I've now got a thesis that we're going to get another rotation on Solana. Like, that's it, you've just built your next trade. Laugh my ass off, I think I know the guy who bought that. Yeah, look, he might have done the best thing. This might, like, buying Sol at $46 or $47? $46.94 might be the best trade he's ever going to do, right? Might be. I don't know. None of us know. None of us know what's going to happen in the next second of the market. But we can make educated guesses, right? And that's what this is. We are professional losers guessing in probabilities. Yeah, I think that's kind of the opportunities at the moment, or the two ways I look at it. And the third one is really just about finding laggards and going, okay, well, you know, you've seen stuff like sushi. AVAX was going to be the one that I was like, this looks reasonably interesting. But if you start looking at some, like, let's just go to some like real random shit. CHZ. I mean, I was trading CHZ for so long back in the day. There was a couple of weeks. Was it this? Maybe it was this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this price action, World Cup kind of price action. Someone who's more into football than me will remember it. But I was just waking up and trading the shit out of this every single day, basically. You know, is this going to have a resurgence? Are we going to get a CHZ move? Okay, well if we are, how am I going to position into it? Doesn't look particularly great at the moment, but where would I be interested in buying? How would I be playing this? Yeah, it's quite difficult actually. You know, looking for some key levels, looking for some rotational strength, etc. Yeah, it's a bit unclean, because even if we flip this, it's not really much of a move. Quite inefficient in terms of volume, so maybe we get just a redonkulous leg up, but I might add it to spaghetti and see if we can catch a rotation. But that's what I mean, like trying to find things that you've got basically the two ends of the scale to me, and I don't want to diddle in the middle. You've got stuff like Solana, which you catch on a rotation because it is literally like super pumpy, right? And in my view, you want that like low time frame. You're probably not going to get really nice clean consolidations on these coins that have had very, very strong pumps. But you can try and find coins that are breaking out of, you know, ranges for a period. And if you've got, you know, some real shit coins, I'm trying to think of something that's been kind of sat in a big accumulation range. Dent. Dot. Stuff like Dot. Polkadot. At one point, this was the hype of CT. Do you think we're going to see a Dot rotation? If so, start setting alerts and start building trade plans. Hello, Charlie. Can you break down a divergence? Of course, my friend. As you asked so nicely. It is essentially when price does one thing and an oscillator, or if we can find one. Probably not going to find one on the strongest asset of the day, but we can but try. So really there's not a lot. Not a lot on sushi. Kind of as you would expect. Remember buying Dot? Glad she got out of that mess early. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things, isn't it? Yeah, that's a pretty janky divergence. I'm trying to find a really clean one. I'll just draw it, fuck it. So the idea being that you've got price doing this, right? So price is making higher highs, but you've got RSI making lower highs. So really simply, what it's telling you, and bearing in mind that RSI is just price, but repainted as a different, you know, calculation essentially. All it is telling you is that this move was stronger than that move. And what's happening is as price is going up, momentum is going down. So it is not as strong as it was. That move, not as strong as that move. And what you can add to that is whether it's at an extreme or not. So overbought or oversold. And you can also get some compliments in with the Awesome Oscillator, or even EMAs in terms of, or VWAPs, things like that, if you're combining various systems. So when you get a divergence, what it tends to tell you is that this move might be running out of steam. So it's just a one, do you want to take some profit if you're in, if you're in the long and the momentum's dying to the short side essentially, so you are reducing the upward momentum. 2, do you want to hedge? 3, do you want to take a short? So, where I like shorting, as an example, would be where you're getting divergences into a very, very clear and clean high time frame area of resistance. So if you're getting those moves into resistance, you can usually expect a decent kind of pullback. Hey Charlie, could you show the spaghetti chart? Of course. Here you go. I can even put it in the stream. Just bear with me while I load it. There you go. And for the Twitch people, there you go. I am trying to migrate over to YouTube, so if anyone is on YouTube, I do vastly appreciate your likes, your whatever it's called, subscribes? I'm getting old, boys and girls. Jesus. Your subs and all that. Yeah, that's a divergence for you. We're just gonna move forward from that one. Yeah. Was there a divergence on this? Doubt it. The problem with these really fast, inefficient moves is that there's rarely divs. But you can see here, there's quite a nice clean div on the Awesome Oscillator across these lows, which ends up playing out quite nicely. Whether that trade there is kind of done, who knows? I suspect it probably is, but either way, it gives you just a nice setup in terms of that div playing out. It's not clean on RSI. Obviously, you've got this, and the second point to note is that it's not at an extreme, so it's not down in the kind of less than 30 or above 70 mark, and that's kind of when you expect price to kind of move. And if you start even if you just eyeball RSI, it's one of the many ways that you can be super disciplined in terms of taking trades or taking profits. So let's illustrate it with just simple KCBs or something. Should you be shorting into the lower band of a KCB? Probably not. I can take longs here. I can take shorts here. Even if you just apply that simple premise, you take a short here, I can take a long here. Okay, that didn't work out particularly, but that did. That short just about worked out. That short probably got cucked, but did, pull back a little bit. Even simple bands and simple processes, okay, they basically get blown out here, but do you want to fade something that is having a literal parabolic move? Probably not. Let's have a look at volume. Yeah, it's just absolutely going bananas, isn't it? So, you can start building just very simple trading rules of, if it's going parabolic, I probably don't want to fade it, but I only actually want to consider shorts at these extremes of value. You analyze Sol a little bit more? I'm not really sure what else there is to analyze. Oh, there we go. Fat ass sell-off. We are mocking the guys buying it at 47 or whatever it was, and talked about where do we want to get back on board. That is really a big trade plan, I think, in terms of looking for a pullback, look for this kind of 40, probably 40 level-ish, and for some form of consolidation, look for breaking the downtrend, look for a change in market structure, look for some form of relative strength to go on board the next leg. I mean, the only other thing I can do for you is press trade at the right time, do you know what I mean? You shot ARB? Yeah, I can look at ARB. Looked at ARB that much the breakout play the other day. Let's take some KCBs and stuff off. Just tidy this up a little bit. So, like, my general process for just simple levels is, well, one, I've turned on VRVP, so this is a wonderful little indicator, which is, it's free, part of TradingView. It literally just draws, you can set it to just draw the value area high, value area low, which I've got here. So you've got this and this, which is just, you know, X percentage of volume. I just find it handy to look visually, like instantly when I'm flicking through charts, just at what the highs and the lows are. And that's kind of it. So if it does line up with some nice levels, you can see here that the point of control in pink is lined up pretty nicely with kind of this resistance level. You know, it's just a kind of easy way to do it. Well, what I tend to do is go, you know, high time frame down to low time frame. So you can see here we actually had some divergences across these lows in terms of momentum, both on RSI and on Awesome Oscillator. Like, it's kind of starting to look like it played out, to be honest. So start looking at the 50 level. So 50 RSI is important. Does anyone know why the 50 RSI level is so important? I will ask you instead of just tell you, while I have a little slurp of water and try and recover my voice. FS asking me to chart 3 charts. Let's go. You gotta do like tips or something. Send me a bathtub picture. I don't know what the currency is these days for those kind of things. Charlie, prices come to your level of interest. What's your trigger? I'm still waiting for your answers on 50 RSI, by the way, while I answer this. What's my trigger? It depends on the trade, is the honest answer. But generally, like, prices come to my level. Right. What's price doing? So let's pretend that this is my level, right? So we're going to talk about how prices come in. So if it's coming down like this, and it is literally, it's tagged my level, and it is, you know, the whole market is dying. Spaghetti looks like it's pointing to the South Pole. Bitcoin is just in an absolute ridiculous sell-off. I'm not going to arbitrarily buy this level. My level is probably a meme in that scenario. You know, if it's a huge market-wide flash crash type thing, then what I want to be doing is seeing if there's any demand around this level, seeing if whatever coin I'm looking at is starting to pile off in terms of the rest of the market, so everything else is starting to go down. Is this getting some demand? If we kind of get a reaction, then I'm either looking for like a higher low. I might take a clip in straight away if I start seeing there are actually some bidders in the chat, and if everything else starts cooling off as well. So, you know, generally I'm looking at spaghetti. I'm also looking at like this kind of view. So I'm looking at general indices, which there hasn't been much correlation with lately, to be honest, and what's going on with ETH and BTC. And you can start. I'm not using this at the moment. I'm actually using something else, but yeah, that kind of thought process of, right, well, I'm not just going to try and knife catch this level. What I ideally want to see is a divergence into that level, right? Or an RSI reset. So, okay, great, couple of good answers. So an RSI reset at or around that level, and then I like things like changes in market structure. I like relative strength, and I like a combination of the two to kind of confirm and get on board and size up. But preferably it's div into market structure change into relative strength, and then you just get that bull cycle of, okay, this is probably going to be the trade of the day. And if you catch that, you know, you catch the strong mover in a rotation on a day like today, you're going to do well. And it's always better when you've got pre-thought out conditions, so like LDO. If you've tuned into any of my streams before, we've talked about LDO every week, being the like ETH proxy play. So, you know, why was I interested in this level? why was I interested in that level? But you can kind of see from before that they were these lows, with this consolidation, etc, etc, and just this, like, that's it. So RSI over 50 means strength bear to bull. Yeah, 50 shows you who's in charge around here. I like that. I really like that explanation, actually. Yeah, it does. And when RSI resets and when it gets to that 50 level, so if you look at BTC, what you tend to get is a strong move. Let me just delete some of these brushes. 1 second, my friends. So, you know, we are at that kind of 50 level-ish now. Right, 52. Close. So, we haven't lost the 4-hour kind of bullish argument that says above 50 bulls are in control, below 50 bears are in control, right? That's a really simple way of putting it, and I like that. Now, when price is ranging, the RSI is usually around that 50 mark, right? So that is equilibrium. That is bulls and bears have the same kind of momentum. Now, technically, it can be like this, or it can be like this, right? It's a bit nuanced in that respect. That you can have quite a volatile market with a 50 RSI, and you can have quite a you know, compressed market and have 50 RSI. But yeah, I guess the point of that is it doesn't necessarily mean volatility. It means that over a period of 14, which is the usual close, if the bullish moves and the bearish moves are equal, they could be, you know, $10,000 up, $10,000 down, or they could be $10 up, $10 down. You'd still get the RSI of 50. But what it means is, you know, you should probably be favouring longs instead of shorts until that is broken. At least in my view. And I think that's a really simple way of doing it. You know, other people use trend scanners, so you start looking at this. You know, if you look at the 4-hour on, you know, XO's kind of inputs, 921, and you know, showing both EMAs, like when you start looking at that, we are at a point where actually this trend is looking like it's starting to finish, because that's the bull signal, and this could be the bear signal, right? So simple EMA crosses work very well in a trending market because they are essentially a trend. And if you want this indicator, it's literally free on TradingView. So go take a peep, it's called that, and before someone asks. And, you know, it's just 2 EMAs. It's all publicly available in terms of the script. You know, there's nothing complex. It gets chopped up in ranging environments, as all EMA strategies do. But in trending environments, it works very, very well to capture pretty large moves. But interestingly, there is a cross coming up imminently. So, you know, the confluence of that and that may suggest that you don't want to be balls deep long on BTC. But for me, it's still a kind of risk-on market in terms of these kind of rotations. And this rotation in particular is pretty impressive because pretty much everything is well above BTC. So, you know, we've seen recently that BTC dominance has been up massively. And peep, where is it? BTCD. And also don't necessarily trade off this chart. I might post this for an alt season mouth wide open kind of JPEG for everybody to, you know, like it, tweet it, and follow me, and do all that kind of bollocks. But yeah, you know, it's been, Bitcoin dominance has been really, really strong. So if you want an alt season, you really want this chart to look like, start looking like shit. But it genuinely looks quite good still. You know, good market structure on high time frame, broken out of this range, you know, which is a, you know, 2-year long range. Retested it, so it's basically the cleanest fucking baby pips shit you're gonna get. Broke out, retest, long. And you know, this is what you need to be looking for, in my opinion, for other setups, is breaks out of a range, retests it, and then that's your long. Like, that's exactly what we talked about earlier on the stream for Link. Exactly what we talked about. And you'll see this setup kind of time and time again, although we did talk about front running it ever so slightly for Link because of arbitrary $10. See? Like, exactly the same thing. Whether we get it or not, who knows? but plan the trade and then trade the plan. Easy. There were quite a few questions that I missed. Did we actually chat Arb in the end, or did I just talk shit? I think I just talked shit, didn't I? Sorry, it's a bit all over the place today because I'm doing a little bit more chat requests than normal. So yeah, genuinely, there's a level, yeah, this form of support, etc. That's kind of a level in terms of this form of resistance, and then blast through. A bit janky over here, and this. Zoom in a little bit. Do I want to be longing this right here, right now? No, not particularly. Why am I being a boomer? Where's my fucking rectangle? There's my rectangle. Yeah, I don't want to be logging this right here personally. But that is a pretty beastly candle. Just because rejection, this looks like it's going to reject, and longing it into that is not great for me. What I prefer is low time frame kind of grind up. I'll draw what I prefer. I prefer like a rejection. I'm going to start that again. So you got this similar like high time frame level, you got a rejection, you got another rejection, and you've got this pattern of higher lows essentially. That suggests to me that this one is just going to be the breakout one, and it's gonna absolutely yeet. I did it on Sol the other day. I kind of put that and shared that in the group, my thought process, and this was literally like a 1 minute chart. I'm gonna probably get it wrong as to where it was. It's like 11 o'clock somewhere. My concept of time is ridiculously bad. And obviously if I held this, it would have been the absolute bottom tick. I want to say it was in here. Yeah, maybe it was there. I think it was there. I'm gonna replay it. Alright. So I was looking at basically these highs over here and these highs here, and I was looking at, let's go down to a 5 minute chart. Yeah, this was it. And I was basically looking at this, and I was looking at, go down to 1 minute, because that's what I was on. I was looking at like this, across here. It looked different on Bybit. I remember this question now. And what I did was I got on board down here and played this rotation up here. So I took a trade that looked something like, oh, the music stopped. It looked something like this. Actually, is that right? I don't fucking know. My concept of time is so bad. I think it was like this for the breakout. And because it was definitely 11 o'clock in the morning, and it was this sell-off here. I think it did look slightly, yeah, it looked slightly different on Bybit, because that was a question I got, which is, you know, why here? And I think that high was higher. So you essentially had rejection, but you know, the starting formation of a higher low were on strong momentum, and this build up here was pure relative strength. So that pure relative strength for me is kind of that absolute sign that this coin is probably going to break out of whatever you put in front of it. And you know, it fucked around my entry basically, but it was in play the whole day. I don't think I caught all of the move, but all of it up here. But yeah, it was this basically, and that's kind of it in practice. I'll stop that. And obviously, if you go back, that was probably like the last time you could have got it. Oh no, it wouldn't have been the last time you could have got it for that price. But pretty relentless. And the thing about this that I always find is that, you know, there's always another opportunity. This time next week we'll be talking about something else. We'll be talking about BSV or LDO. Hopefully LDO. I like LDO. What's up with the background music? What do you mean? What's up with it? What's up? What do you mean? What's up with the background music? Background music's good. We need the background music. Keep everyone hyped. Keep everyone awake. I'm a former accountant, my friend. So I think it's time to pick up bolts on a pull back for the bull. Thanks. I've been pretty skeptical of like a big high time frame. This is a bull market type scenario, and you know, maybe that's my bear market PTSD and all that bollocks kicking in. But like the reality is for me, you know, not much has outperformed BTC since the start of the year, right? And I get that this is a basket case of alts and it's a selection. Bitcoin has 2x'd, and there's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 alts on this out of 60 that have outperformed it. Like that ratio of alts BTC, like alts outperforming BTC is not like a huge bull market vibe to me. Like, don't get me wrong, this has been a fucking incredible bounce. There's been so many opportunities to make money. You know, don't mistake the two. But does this remind me of the 2017 bull run and hype? This week has, to be honest with you. This week's probably been the first time since 2017 where I've been like, oh Christ, you know, some of these investments in projects, I've invested in a couple of private sales in the last couple of weeks, you know, they're actually reasonable. They're reasonable valuations, they're good projects. Well, I think they're good projects, not financial advice, do your own research, blah blah blah, all educational purposes, don't sue me. You know, and they're doing well. Like, this is the first time I've kind of seen the market be risk on in that regard as well, and you know, maybe the tide is starting to turn in terms of that risk on with altcoins. And you know, what they say in terms of cycles is Bitcoin goes first, then it's ETH and the majors, then it's sort of mid caps, and then it's risk on alts like Pepe and Dogecoin Inu and all this kind of bullshit. And then that, when that starts running, is kind of like, oh, this is time to really just milk the market, but make sure you are taking, you know, you've got plans to take money out. So yeah, mania phase is the most tiring. See, look, Sol's already what, down? What is wrong with me? 15. Oh, my mental maths is shite. 11%, 11.5%. So, do I think it's time to pick up alts for the bull? No, personally, I'm not. You know, personally, I'm putting money in different altcoins here and there, but I'm not like, right, I'm redeploying 80% of my net worth into crypto. I'm just not. I am happy to deploy into certain things. So Friendtech was probably the biggest thing that I've waited for a SocialFi token for a long time. I've ranted about, one of my first videos in the group actually was what do you think future themes will be, and SocialFi was like the top one, and there were 5 if I recall. I basically had a tier list of like my top 5, and then, you know, the next ones, you know, think things like privacy are basically done, and the only reason we'd see another cycle is if, you know, it got absolutely regulated to death everywhere. But yeah, SocialFi. So if Friendtech had started with the token, I probably would have moved some of my capital back into crypto and went absolutely fucking ham on that. Maybe our VP settings, just that. But, you know, for an old bull like me, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of things before. And I think that's where, you know, you guys have got a really good advantage over somebody who's been in the market since 2017, is that you might be able to tap into what other people are going to think is new and shiny and exciting, whereas I think most of it's, you know, dull, boring, or I've seen it before. And that's why when I do talk about projects, you know, I have invested, I have money allocated to them, and I think they have something interesting going for them. All my top SocialFi tokens we can research. I don't really have any. He says going from super bullish to cucked praise. That kind of came along at the wrong time. There's things like STFX and all that, which I don't own. I haven't got any of that. I've seen a lot of people go for it, but not me. Pepe, sexy wedge. Sexy wedge? We kind of talked about Pepe earlier, and you're talking about this kind of descending wedge. Yeah, I mean, I could buy into that. The thing for me is, you know, diagonals for me are confluence, right? They're nothing more than that. Like, I personally don't think that diagonals are the best, but if they can add a kind of piece of confluence to your trade idea, then it's worth having. I've explained that terribly. New shiny shit is Capo the Goat's speciality. Yeah, I mean, he made a lot of his wealth through just being early. He was very early on Rune, like myself, you know, through kind of a mutual friend, and he is an absolute chad at getting in early on projects. But that comes with a risk, because if you are, you know, aping 10 grand into a 500k market cap project, there's a good chance that 500k market cap project will go to 100k, and your, you know, 10 grand investment is suddenly 2, and they are really high risk and usually take a lot of time to kind of see through. And obviously now we're seeing quite a lot of bullish on chain activity. So what's one that I've been, you know, tweeting about a lot lately? So if any of you have followed me for a while, you would have seen that I've been talking about PAL a lot. You know, XO had them on his stream last night. This isn't a complete chart. Let's go back to this. So, you know, real simple, not bull market setup, but I would say a real simple kind of setup on trending altcoins. It's just looking for that move above all-time high and using that previous all-time high as like a level of invalidation. So, you know, okay, it bounced and then it reclaimed and then it moved basically 100% to the highs. Like, I think that was off their like Nvidia partnership news or whatever it was. But still, like, I use this a lot just as a basically move all-time high, flip, retest, go. So literally simple baby pips stuff. And in bullish conditions, on bullish charts, doesn't matter kind of what it is. I mean, liquidity does matter. So if it's got like 50k liquidity, you know, obviously have a lot of caution. But like stuff like PALs, like, I don't know, 500k, maybe a million in liquidity at the moment. Yeah, those kind of things, you know, I think are well worth keeping an eye on and trading. But you know, when I started talking about PAL was over here somewhere, and you've got what, 20 cents, or sorry, not 20 cents, like 2 cents ish, 2.5 maybe. I think it was after this week. Basically, I DM'd CRG and started talking to him about it, and because me and him go back to buying swag packs where we owned, I think both of us owned about 50 of them. But yeah, okay, so we move on from the old FTX swag packs, and you know, you buy like 100 grand's worth of it here, it goes up, you've suddenly got 200k, and then you eat dick on a drawdown down to sort of 12, that, you know, well, sorry, 1.3, 1.4, and then suddenly it's, you know, 8.5. Like, low caps are volatile and brutal. So it's very much not for the faint-hearted. Not that you obviously call the bomber that wig, but you kind of get what I mean. What shell out holdings in the Paragon? Good question. Not all of them, no. And the rationale is that I share all my trades, or most of my trades anyway, in the Paragon. My thought processes, my outlooks for the week, and so on and so forth. But I do gamble in low cap shitcoins, and I don't share all of those, unless I've got pretty strong conviction in it. And the reason that I do that is because I kind of want to separate the, low cap degenerate side from the, trading and discipline side. And I completely get that they are two massively different skill sets. And the low cap gambling side is far more about it's hitting 1 in 10, it's hitting 2 in 10 if you're lucky, that goes sort of 5, 10, 20x, versus trading, which is smaller risk managed moves to make your portfolio look like this, rather than make your portfolio do this: loss, 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 win, loss, 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 win. Like, that is, on-chain low cap debauchery is got my PAL entry in 0.06123 and 0.015. Christ. Nice work, boys. So Anze, yes and no. Where I've got high conviction in it, I will talk about it. So I talked about PAL, for example, but I also talked about, just, full disclosure, I talked about Guys, which I don't even know what that's doing at the moment. I thought it was a good idea. Let's have a look. This is not a shill, by the way. Please don't buy my drastically underwater bags. But yes, I was shilling Guys somewhere up here, and obviously it's pretty much died a death. What have we got? Daily volume 19k. So, this is why I shy away from low caps a little bit, because I could double that like easily just by dumping my bag. Actually, I probably couldn't, because I don't even know what my bag's worth, but you kind of get the point. Is it's illiquid shite, whereas stuff like PAL is 500k volume, 1.8 million liquidity, like worlds apart, and that was, I don't know, a mil of liquidity back here somewhere. So yeah. So yes, I shill some of it, not all of it. Winning, what's that? Pushing through that resistance. Yeah, it might be a nice rotation, but obviously I'm streaming with you guys. It's good you bought PAL a few days later. Yeah, ZNXO shilling it. Yeah, how dare they? How dare they shill altcoins? Christ, you must only talk about trades. You cannot possibly participate with your own money in the markets in ways that you want to. Good God. And all high drama that was, wasn't it? RRB, new highs, let's go. Quantum was on my radar the other day. Ripperoo. Right, has anyone got any questions or anything like that? Because I'm going to drop off, I think. My throat is actually killing me. Turn it in the bin. Piece of shit. Big move from TVK. Interesting. Trouble finding the best place to trade on chain. Any advice? I mean, if you were here at the start of the stream, My sponsors Bluefin, link below, etc. If you are talking about like Uniswap and, you know, low cap shitcoins, then Uniswap, basically. How often do I go live? Kind of whenever I feel like it, to be honest, Mr. M or GRM. If you subscribe, obviously I'll do the cringe YouTube shiller thing of like, subscribe, comment, you know, pics of boobs and vagine, etc. Can I rate Magus's looks from 10? I've never seen him, so no, I can't. I imagine he's an 11. Yes, I tend to go live on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I might up it a little bit, but equally I might not. I kind of prioritise... Great, perfect timing. I kind of prioritise the group in terms of streaming, so I do an outlook for the Paragon group every Sunday and or Monday, depending on personal timings, etc. But it's just an outlook of what levels I'm looking at, what trades I'm looking to take, how I'm building up my spaghetti, etc, etc, what triggers I'm looking for essentially. And then on a Thursday night we'll kind of review progress against that and set out trading for the next day or two, and then go through that. If you have zero exposure to the markets now, what would you do? Look for dips. Yeah, I mean, I think I went through this earlier, Timothy Lim. If you want to go through that, there's a good bit, kind of probably about 20 minutes in, where I explain, I think, the three things that you've got, the three scenarios that I would use to get on board. One is kind of marking out levels where you're interested in participating. Two is chasing those kind of alt rotations, which is basically my bread and butter in terms of trading, and looking for just pullbacks and what's strong and getting on board on that. And then the third is looking at those high time frame range break trades where you think that X coin is going to be kind of the next one to run, and thinking about how you can position on them. So kind of 1 and 3 are a little bit the same thing, but I think 3 is more preempting a range break, and number 1 is if we get a pullback to here, so like the link trade we talked about earlier, this is how and where I want to position. I've also been told by Magus that I need to pick chill music for the background because this is horrible. maybe next week we'll let one of you DJ, shall we? We'll have a guest DJ. I'll see if I can get someone famous to DJ for me in one of my streams. Yes, thank you, all your support is much appreciated. If you like and subscribe and do all that kind of stuff, that would be wonderful. If any of you sign up on my ref link to Bluefin, do DM me and let me know. And yes, I will add you to some treats. Aside from that, have a wonderful evening, everybody. Good luck trading, and I will see you soon. Dogshit music confirmed. Press like on his stream, he needs it. Cheers, guys. Thank you all for being here. I will see you soon.